because I'm actually an optimist. I am very optimistic fundamentally about the opportunity. My frustration isn't from looking back, but looking forward. I can see the opportunity here. So let's talk about the residential for a second. It is in my opinion, it's a really good example of exactly the right things you're doing. Accelerate the transition to renewables, provide storage, liberate and ignite the residential market. Great. I love everything about it. The missed opportunity is if all they had been able to do is say, and 20% of that must be 80% Australian content, not rebadged.
20% Australian or 80% Australian?
20%. Just make it. You don't have to change anything, and because that's taxpayer dollars. So that would have been 20% would be $1.6 billion in spend. It's an $8 or $9 billion total market spend.
Just to explain this to people, the government's given $2.3 billion, but that's only part of the rebate because it pays maybe a third, sometimes 45% of the battery. But then you obviously need the homeowner to put money in it as well. So the 2.3 get definitely doubled. So we got to 4.6, possibly 5.6 by the time you look at what the overall value is. But then you also got the installation costs and the associated transport and all the other kind of things to it. Yeah. So altogether, possibly, I think we're looking more like around the $6-7 billion investment that this 2.3 will follow through in. So we could argue between 9 to 7, somewhere in between. But definitely, it's not just the government money. Private money has to go on top of it to electrify these homes with batteries. So you're right.
Well, so let's say it's $6 billion. So that's $1.2 billion it would have been of Australian content. $1.2 billion over, and it's compressed. It's only going to be over a two-year period, it looks like. So what does $1.2 billion of local manufacturing do? It probably builds 4 or 5 factories. It certainly hires more than a couple of thousand people. But it's not that matters. What it does is it creates the DNA to do other things. So the reason BYD is a battery power is because they took Tesla in and allowed Tesla to do a bunch of stuff and learned from Tesla and then took over fundamentally. I mean, that's a short story. So you get the training and the muscle and the DNA of the supply chain gets up. By the time we finished, we were getting all our steel. Most batteries are steel, plastics, PCBs, and wiring looms and stuff. There's a bit of the cells in there as well, but most of it's very unglamorous stuff. All of that was coming from Australia. So you create the supply chain. That $1.6 billion or $1.2 billion creates a few factories, new businesses, hires them, gets a DNA, and the supply chain. And the rule of thumb in advanced manufacturing is for every 1 direct employee, you have 4 indirect. Those are the jobs you create that are supply chain related. So if you have 1,000 people triggered, you're really creating 5,000 jobs. So all of that would have been triggered by one clause in the subsidy program. All of that would have been triggered by that. So these things are...
But none of the opposition questioned it. Nobody in the media questioned it. And anybody in the industry who knows what's going on would have thought, oh, well, this is a direct wealth transfer of $6 billion, let's make it, to China. Because, I mean, that is it. I mean, there are a few little Australian batteries around. There's Red Earth, for example. But in general, when you see what's being sold, and I mean, even we here on our channel, we've checked those batteries out. They give a good end result to the end customer. They do reduce their electricity bill, but at the end of the day, they are all coming from one place. But how do you think it's playing out with this rush to get them out? Are we going to have issues with safety, and some of those batteries are cheaper products and they'll have issues? And do we have house fires and all of those things? I mean, what's your gut feel about all of that?
Yes, I think. Well, let's. So for those of you that are any electrical work done in your house, generally speaking, it takes longer than it costs more than you think. Now, imagine, I don't know what you've done. Let's say you get your board rewired or you get something added to your house. Generally speaking, the electrician shows up and it takes a few days, costs a lot of money. Imagine if you said to the electrician, I want you to do it in 6 hours. And I know you haven't done it many times, and my house will be slightly different. Do it quickly, get out of there, don't come back again with technology you're not used to. It's going to be a problem. Now compound that with competitive pressure. You need to do it quick, get the next one, and you need to get your rebates in. So even if everybody that's now installing were professional, well-trained, knew what they were doing, familiar with the technology, it would be high risk because you're compressing everything into time. You're removing their ability to think properly and do it properly, and time moves.
But just on the time to explain, what the government has done is the rebate goes down every year by 20% till 2030. And so, and till they have, if they're going to last that long with the money. And so there is this pressure on the industry, on the supply chain, on the installers, because let's say make it the 31st of December. If I can get it installed on the 30th of December, I get, and it's a 50 kilowatt hour, I get $18,000 in rebate. But if I get it installed on the 1st of January 2026, I lose 20% on my rebate. So there's this constant whip of getting it done quick, as many as possible, etc. So you're right. There is actually not the time always to do care.
Well, it's the old thing. You know, you've got your 3 gears. You want it cheap, fast, or good. And you can only choose 2 of them. And so right now, we're getting them cheap and fast, right?
Yeah.
So, you know, I think electrical work done, there's 8 in a typical, all these batteries are getting bigger, but even in a Powerwall, there's about 8,000 times the energy in a Powerwall as your mobile phone. That's a lot of energy in a small space if the electrical work is done in a hurry. And then if it's done in a hurry times several tens of thousands of homes, then you have a problem. And then, as I learned from a guy I knew a long time ago, used to run LG solar panel, told me 10 years ago, handsome German guy, told me that on the residential space, of the 600 solar installers from a few years ago, there'd be maybe 100 left because they orphan very quickly. So most of these installers installing today will be gone tomorrow when some problem comes in. So you have almost perfect storm here. You have people installing things they're not familiar with in a hurry, with high amounts of energy in a small space with technology they don't understand, running software nobody's in control of. Not great fit, Marcus, not a great fit. So
if you put it like that, but I got to put a plug in here. On our website, we do actually list about 50 installers, and we literally have one in Australia because we've gone around Australia and we used my 20 years in the industry to pick the better guys in this industry to do it. And they actually now pushing customer back and pushing them into next year because they have their in-house staff, they have their quality control. They actually worry to touch some of the new batteries that have come in till they have been in the country for 2 or 3 or 4 years to establish. So they go for the companies that have been there, 4 or 5 years already in Australia. So they're selecting more product that is safer. They haven't changed their processes. They're willing to lose some business, but not to rush it. So there is actually a group of installers around. And the golden rule is it's the local bloke that has had that 10, 15 years in solar. They've survived it. They've seen product come and die. And it's the Australian consumer law that actually contributes to that, because the Australian consumer law says if that battery manufacturer that sold you the battery has decided to leave the country and they sold it directly to the installer then holds the baby in terms of the warranty, the responsibility, and all like that. So the installer who wants to go in for the quick cash closes their company, and Solar Super Shine becomes Solar Super Shine, and it starts all over. The customer has nothing. They got piece of paper, warranties, looked all good, nothing. So you got to pick somebody who actually is willing to kick that tire for you. And we got these guys on our website. Now, can I put my hand in the fire for every single one of them? They all look good. They all seem to do the right thing. Most of them are known for 10 years. But if you want the safest bet on installers, check the ones out on our site, because we've done the vetting and we actually exactly predict that, because we've been to installs now, batteries, and you look at, I've seen one, it was installed on clay, on 2 bricks, in an area that the water runs through on the side of the house.
Right.
In order to fasten it onto the house, it was screwed on with 8 brackets, which you think would be okay, but they decided to screw them all into the mortar area because that's what it's easier instead of really the hard brick. So if that weight of that 200 kilogram battery in a wet day with the clay getting soft is pushing the battery off the wall. There's nothing holding it back. Okay. The whole thing started at that particular house, which is a single-phase house where they delivered the 3-phase battery. So that's how good the investigation on it was. And the owner has now only paid his 10% deposit because he's still not happy that the thing doesn't work. Yeah. Okay, they made him to do the firmware upgrade. They made lucky the guy's a bit of a computer whiz. Okay, and they couldn't find a spot where to install it with all the rules where it has to have away from the safety house. Except they found this one spot, but it had a vent from under the house below it. So they, through the website, taught him how to make his vent fireproof so they could, before they come and turn the battery up. So this homeowner is going to Bunnings trying to find fireproof material to make his house safe enough so the installer can install the 3-phase battery on a single-phase house.
Please support the channel by liking the video, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell, and check out all our other videos. Want more energy answered? Visit yourenergyanswers.com for quality energy products, tools and calculators, and find your quality local installers. You're still here? I'll see you next time. Bye.